All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Just want to give you all a warm welcome to our webinar for this month here. We're happy to see so many of you join for today. To start off, could everyone just put down in the chat where they're tuning in from? So the location that you are, we'd like to see where everyone is from, and it definitely helps us if you could just write in the chat there for us. All right. So to start off here with, I'll just give an introduction to myself here first off. So my name is Ayodelio Kunjamurua. I am currently a Scrum Master working with BNET Learning. My main goal here is I'm an experienced Scrum Master with a proven history of understanding and building complex systems. And I'm currently working at BNET Learning because I'm excited to expand my skill set within the company and with focus on removing impediments for the teams and also delivering customer-centric products and features, mainly in the software design space. So today we are having our webinar on achieving a six-figure salary in North America as a certified business analyst. And that's going to be given to us today by Oluwakemi Oke. Just a little bit of background about her to begin with before I hand it over to her here. Her name is Oluwakemi Oke, and she's a certified BA or a CBAP, which stands for Certified Product Owner Analyst. She works at Work Technologies as a senior functional business analyst, and she's functioned in other roles such as project management, as a product manager in technical systems, as a technical systems analyst, and also as a process analyst. And she has managed several projects across multiple industries, including finance, banking, consulting, startup, and e-commerce. She's also facilitated business analyst training and lead and mentor other business analysts while she was at that as well too. And when she's not working, she likes traveling, taking road trips, and taking to her garden and plants, as well as enjoying reading books and other fictional biographies here. And she likes to relax by watching TV shows and movie series. So today she will be giving us our talk today about achieving a six-figure salary in North America as a certified business analyst here. So I will pass it on. Before I pass it on to her, just one moment here. I see that some of us are from Lagos, Nigeria. Okay. Patrick is from Canada, and he's a Scrum Master as well. That's interesting. It's nice to see a fellow Scrum Master here too. That's perfect. Awesome. Yeah, if everyone is new, anyone that's new here, you can just put down your location in the chat. And it's very nice to see people from all sorts of aspects of life coming here for this talk today, where you're definitely not going to be disappointed. One from the US as well too. Okay, that's perfect. It's great to have you all here. Awesome. All right, so to begin with our webinar here, I will pass it on to Kemi. She will give us our talk, and then also after she's done here, we will have time for a Q&A. So if you guys could please just write down any questions that you have while we're having the webinar here. We will come back to all of you, and you can put it on the chat as well too. That's fine. You can write as a note and then put on the chat. We'll have a whole session for that. So we will definitely address any of your questions or concerns after the webinar here. So to begin with, I will pass it on to Kemi, and then please everyone just pay rapt attention to her. And I hope you enjoy the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayo. Before we start, we'll take a quick poll. We just want to know where you're at right now in your career. So we just take like 2 to 3 minutes. It's just one question, just to know where you are right now in your career. Okay, so I see that a lot of people are here transitioning to BA. Okay, early stage BA. Early stage BA is probably you are just starting out in business analysis. Probably this is your first job in business analysis or something related. Okay. One more minute and we'll start. Okay, good. Can you all see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes,
All
I
right.
can. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you everyone and thank you for joining us today. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Kemi. I'm a senior functional business analyst. I work with Work Technologies. It's a startup in Canada, and we basically just do process automation. To put it in a very simple term, process automation and delivering, automating business processes for our clients and various clients across different fields and industries. So today, the topic for today's discussion is achieving a six-figure salary in North America as a certified business analyst. And I see that a lot of us here are just starting out as business analysts, or we are transitioning into business analysis. So we take some few minutes to talk about what business analysis is and what you do as a business analyst and how you can transition into business analysis before we then finally talk about how you can achieve a six-figure salary in North America as a business analyst. So, and also as I mentioned earlier, if you have any questions, please note them down. So we'll take some time after the talk to answer some of your questions, and would also hand it over to someone from BNET to talk about BNET's trainings as we have it. So I will start by talking about business analysis generally. What is business analysis? According to IIBA, which is the governing body, it's a governing body covering business analysis in this area, and we have the business analysis body of knowledge. So as defined by IIBA, business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an enterprise or your organization or a company or anywhere by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to your stakeholders. So there's some key terms, so there's some keywords that we have in this definition. The first thing is a practice. So business analysis in itself is a practice. It's something that you do continuously. And what do you do? The main aim of this profession is for you to enable change. How do you do that? You define needs and you recommend solutions. And to do that, you need to work with some people that we call your stakeholders. These are the people that you meet with. They are the ones that will tell you, oh, this is a problem or this is a need that we have. So you need to engage them to understand what the business problem is, to understand what their needs are. And in understanding this, in defining these needs, you need to ask questions. You need to collaborate with them, work with them to understand exactly what they need and what they don't need. And in understanding these needs and problems, that is when you can then recommend solutions to them. And that is why, as a business analyst, you are called a change agent or a change enabler, an enabler within your environment or your organization. And who is a business analyst? A business analyst is anyone who performs business analysis activity, irrespective of your job title or the organizational role that you have. Whatever you are called within your organization, it doesn't matter. So far you are able to do this definition as prescribed by IIB, you enable change within your environment, within your organization. You are able to define needs and you recommend solutions that deliver value. The keyword here is delivering value to your stakeholders. It's not enough to recommend a solution or provide a solution that will not meet the needs of your stakeholders. So whatever solution you're providing must meet the needs of your stakeholder. That is how you perform business analysis. So whoever performs any of these business analysis activities can be referred to as a business analyst. So as part of your job function, you are the one that discover and analyze information. Because you're working with stakeholders, you are trying to understand what a business problem is. We'll get to another slide where we'll talk about the stakeholders and how to do all of that. But your main goal here is to engage these your stakeholders, collaborate with them in order to understand what the business need is. You elicit their needs, you investigate and you clarify their needs and desires so that you can understand the root cause and be able to recommend solutions to them. All right, so as a business analyst, you also understand the enterprise problems and goals. What is the overall goal of our organization? And these needs, do they align with our organizational goals? You also devise strategies. You drive changes within your organization and you facilitate collaboration and stakeholder engagement within your organization. Now, I mentioned earlier that a business analyst is anyone who performs some of these job functions. So you see that across different organizations, across different industries, the job title may differ. For example, my role is most times called a functional analyst, but because I still carry out business analysis functions, I'm still called a functional business analyst. So you see other job titles as well. For example, business architect, business systems analyst, data analyst, management consultants. Product managers, product owners, they also carry out business analysis functions as well. Or you can be also called a requirements engineer or a systems engineer. So when you are targeting jobs as a BA, don't focus only on business analyst jobs or titles. You have to read through and understand what the job actually entails, read through the job description to understand, am I going to perform business analysis activities on this role? So don't focus particularly on the job title, but focus on the actual job description that you'll be doing because the titles differ across different organizations and industries. All right. Now, a lot of people have actually functioned in one way or the other as a business analyst without knowing it. In our different roles across our different industries and organizations, you may have been engaged in a particular project or initiative within your organization, even without being a technical person. So it's very common to have business analysts working in technology projects. But also, for example, I listed some examples here. Someone working in HR that's during the pandemic or at the start of the pandemic when organizations were transitioning into work from home. That is a form of change. So someone who is in HR that was part of that engagement, that was part of that initiative, and was part of the group that devised a strategy. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is how our staff will be able to work from home and still deliver what they're supposed to deliver every day. And they put out all the plan and they initiated and implemented, executed our plan. It's a form of business analysis. By the time you have a better understanding of what business analysis is, you'll see that some of the things that you've done in the past, you've actually carried out some business analysis activities or roles in the different roles. Or someone in sales and marketing, when you are strategizing, making product marketing plans or campaigns, some of these things are actually, you would have performed some business analysis functions as well. Or a lawyer or someone in admin who probably was engaged on a business process management initiative or engineering initiative where you try to understand the business process and document that process for an organization, or you're involved in business re-engineering or something similar, or you're in customer service or support. A lot of finance people also are engaged or have performed a form of business analysis activity, especially when they're doing some financial analysis. If you work in probably a big organization and they're about to engage in a very large enterprise project, or at the start of the financial year, and you're supposed to come up with the budget and things like that, and you've carried out some financial analysis, you have actually done some part of business analysis activities as well. It may not be the entire business analysis function, but in that particular role, in that particular project, you would have used some of the tools and techniques that we use also as business analysts. There are other functions like stakeholder management. You are a relationship manager or something like that, or a business development personnel, or a good example is event planning. You're trying to organize a family dinner or a trip. You have a group of 5-10 people where you're making plans for. This is different from project management. This is where you sit down to say, okay, what do we need to do? How do we need to do it? And you start making plans. You work with these different people and you deliver value to them. You delivered the events to them. You have used some of the techniques that we would use in business analysis. So these things are not totally strange to you. But over time, by the time you mature and you start taking some, you take your trainings and you start working on complex projects, you'll find yourself in more complex situations or projects where you need to get more training, use more techniques, use more tools, and you start building your profile or your portfolio as a business analyst. The point of this slide is to tell you that business analysis is not totally strange to everyone. We may have functioned at some point in some very small tasks where you have used your business analysis skills one way or the other, all right? Now, I mentioned earlier that as a business analyst, you work with stakeholders to deliver value to them. Now, your goal as a business analyst is to make sure that your stakeholders are satisfied at every point in time. All right, so stakeholder management is also a key thing that we do as business analysts. You don't function in isolation, you have to work with people, okay? And how do we do this? We have a set of tools and techniques, a whole lot of them that we work with. And I'm sure also in your various roles, you may have used at least one of these different techniques as well. Now, depending on what you want to deliver, depending on the task that you're working on at the particular time, you may find yourself using a combination of one or two of these different techniques: role-playing, prototyping, process flows, reviews, bringing people together to do a workshop or brainstorming sessions. So these are some of the different techniques that we use as business analysts to carry out our functions. We'll get into this in detail probably during the training. Now, how do you start as a business analyst? Probably you are transitioning from whatever field or from whatever other departments or industry you're coming from, or you are just a fresh graduate. How do I start this journey? The first thing is to do, there's something we call gap analysis. Where am I right now? Where do I want to be? And how do I get to where I need to get to? Right now, the first thing is to understand your experience level. Am I at the entry stage, intermediate, or experienced BA? This is something that we've just done in a poll that we just did right now. Also, if you're transitioning right now, where am I right now? Probably you've spent 5 years in finance or in customer service. That is where you are right now. Where do I need to be? I want to be a business analyst. Then conduct like a skill gap. What skills do I have right now? What skills can I take from my current role that is still relevant to what I need to do as a business analyst. Next is to validate your experience. I have spent 5 years working in finance. I was involved in this project. I was involved in that project. Are there any transferable skills that I can take from my current role, or even from my graduate studies, or any other thing that I've done in the past? Are there any transferable skills that I can take from what I'm doing right now to where I need to be? And that's where the understanding of the role comes into play. And that's why before you can say, I want to transition into business analysis, you need to know what business analysis itself is. What does this role entail in the first place? What skills do I have right now? And what skills do I need to take into this new journey that I want to start? All right. Next is taking the training, understanding what business analysis is itself. There are 3 different levels in IIBA. There's ECBA, that's the entry level. The intermediate level is CCBA, and the professional level is CBAP itself. They have different requirements depending on wherever you are at your your career level. So you need to know these are the different exam stages anyways. So you need to take a training to have a good understanding of business analysis, then probably get certified or try to get a job, and some training, internship, or volunteer just to get the experience. So these are different ways that you can start your journey into business analysis. There is another webinar for transitioning into business analysis, or talking about business analysis in itself. That's not the purpose of this talk, so I will not delve so much on this right now. Now, also, when you are making that decision on transitioning into business analysis, you need to understand that there are different types of business analysis that you can do. Now, on my screen, you have the strategic analysis, tactical or operational analysis. So you see different business analysts performing in these different roles across different industries or organizations. Some probably the management consultant most times, or someone like a product manager, they deal with more strategic activities. They're the ones that will devise a strategy. So for us to start this work from home, this is what we need to do. They have a roadmap that everyone will follow. This is the first thing that we need to do. Then this is phase 2, then this is phase 3. These are all the different steps that would need to take in each of these different phases. That's the strategic part of business analysis. Then we have the tactical. These are the ones that execute these strategies. That's where you see your IT business analyst, your user experience analyst, your product managers or product owners. So after we have a strategy, a plan in place, then they hand it over to this tactical business analyst. These are the ones that are in charge of executing these plans. Now, depending on your experience or your level, you may function in either of this. You see some BAs that actually do a combination of both of this. But you see a lot of BAs functioning in tactical analysis. Then we also have the operational analysis. These are the ones that do operational support and maintenance on processes or systems or things like that. And you can also, depending on your organization, also function in different categories as a BA. Some are generalists. These are people that they can work anywhere. They can work in finance, in e-commerce, in food industries, IT technology. They work everywhere, right? Some are specialists. You see some BA that they deal with business intelligence. They are BAs, but they deal more with data. So they are specialists in that particular field. Or you see someone that's they are security experts. They are still BAs, but because of their domain knowledge in that particular field, they are specialists in that particular area. While we have some that are hybrid, sometimes they combine different roles, especially when you work in small organizations where you can be a BA as well as a developer or a BA as well as a tester. So you see people functioning in different roles, in different categories, in different industries, but the unifying term is called business analysis. And as I explained in the introduction, or the definition of business analysis in itself, the goal is that you are enabling change within your organization. So far, you are performing this task of collaborating with your stakeholders to understand what they need to do, recommending solutions for them, delivering value to the stakeholders. So far, you're doing all of this, you are called a BA. Irrespective of your title or where you work, or whether you're a generalist or a specialist, a specialist BA in data or in technology or in finance or wherever you may find yourself. All right. Also, you see some BAs that some may be business focused, while some may be technology focused. They are focused on a particular technology. You see some BAs that, like I mentioned earlier, they work with data, they're business intelligence BAs, or some are in AI or security, network security, cloud computing, and all of those things. They have specialist technologies that they focus on. That's where they work. Whereas you see some other BAs that they're business focused. BAs that work with business processes, or they work on particular, let's say you could be a BA that's just a specialist in relationship management. So you understand CRMs, you understand how CRMs work with customer support, with sales and marketing and these different things. They work with business. Sometimes they're strategists. So as a BA, you see that you can work in different industries, different technologies focused on business or wherever you may choose to find yourself. So where you are right now is not a limiting factor. You can still transfer the knowledge, you can still transfer the skills that you've gained in your previous careers, in your previous studies, transfer the skills and still function as a BA. Okay. Now, with the understanding of our understanding of business analysis right now, or probably you've started as a BA, you've spent some few years, 3 to 5 years or thereabouts, working as a business analyst, or whatever other title that you may have. Now, how do you transition into getting a six-figure salary as a business analyst in North America? Now, it's a journey in itself. It's not something that you wake up and to say, today, I'm tired of this job I'm doing right now. I want to transition into this. And the next thing is to get a job that will pay me $150K per year. The first thing is to have a motivating factor. Why do I want to earn a six-figure salary as a business analyst in my particular field or wherever you are? According to an author, Simon Sinek, you have to start, there's a book called Start With Why. And there is called, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. What is motivating you? What's the driving factor for you to decide to earn this much? Some people, it's because of the financial stability. They want to earn more, they want to support their families and things like that. While some other people, it could be because of the purpose or the impact that they may have within their organization. Some people want to be able to define the kind of projects that they work on. They want to be able to steer the impacts that their work, the impact of their work on their stakeholders. If you're a junior BA, you may not be able to have so much impact on your work. But by the time you grow, by the time you probably become a senior BA and things like that, you'll be able to define or strategize on how your work is going to deliver value to your stakeholders, the kind of impacts that you make. You may even be able to decide on the technologies or the kind of projects that you work on. So this could also be a motivating factor to say, I am targeting this, or this is my goal, this is my career plan because of these things, okay? Now, once you have decided on what is motivating you, the next thing is to start with your research. What are employers looking out for? People that are earning this, or people that are employing people in this particular space, what are they looking out for? What are the skills and experience that I need to have for me to earn this much? What kind of projects do I need to have worked on? Or what are the soft skills that I need to have gathered or developed over the years for me to be able to showcase that I can operate at this level, including your domain knowledge. And part of your research is also using tools like Glassdoor and Indeed to get data on salary and benefits compensation. How much are people with my kind of experience earning in this particular industry? If I want to work in an organization like Amazon, with my years of experience, with all that I've done, how much am I expecting to get? What are the other benefits? Even if I'm not going to earn as much as 100K or 150K per year, what are the other benefits that I may gain if I'm working with this organization? So you need to also do your own research, all right? The next thing is to sit down and do your gap analysis. You see, gap analysis is back here again. Where am I right now? What's my current state? And what's my desired future state? And how do I get there? What are the gaps? So for me to get to my desired future state is earning 6-figure salary, right? Right now I'm earning 40K. So this is the gap. How do I get there? Do I need to work 2 more years to get to this point? Do I need to work on more projects? Do I need to develop more skills? Do I need to work on more tools? Do I need to move into a different industry? Understand where you are right now and the steps you need to take to get to where you need to be. The next is to validate and identify your transferable skills. Part of doing your gap analysis is documenting where you are right now. So this is where I am. These are my skills. These are the projects I've worked on. This is where I have domain expertise. I am an expert in finance. I've worked in finance for 5 years. I've worked in technology or an IT company for 2-3 years. I can talk about capital markets. I can talk about healthcare or any medical term or medical field. These are my soft skills. I communicate very well. I can write, I can document things very well. I can talk about technical terms and pass technical information to diverse audience, different audience. So these are the soft skills that I've developed over the years. Next is to understand your core strengths. Do you want to be a generalist or do you want to be a specialist? Generalist in the sense that I've worked across different industries, I've worked across different fields, so I can function anywhere. Or I'd rather stay in finance because I understand financial terms, or I studied finance or accounting or something like that. So I'll stay in this space. What are the technologies or projects that you've worked on? You have worked with Microsoft, you have worked with Oracle. So you may be targeting organizations that use these technologies, or there are some specialist BA roles that they would want you to have probably Salesforce experience or Microsoft Dynamics experience. So what are the projects or technologies that I've worked on or worked with in previous years that I can work on this project easily. So you may start targeting organizations that use these technologies, or these are some of the things that you can showcase when you start preparing your resume or preparing for job interviews in this space. Also, the industry. Do I want to stay in IT? Do I want to stay in healthcare or finance? So what industry, or do you want to transition to a different industry? Where do you think you can function better? Is it preferable for you to stay, or do you want to transition to a different industry? So these are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself when you are thinking about these things. Another point is preparing your resume. Now you've worked for 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years as a BA, and now you want to move on to the next level of your career. You need to prepare your resume in such a way that you can showcase these skills, these experiences, and these achievements that you've made over the years. Some people don't know how to present their experiences in their resumes. And another key point is the interview itself. While some people can have a glowing resume or ask someone to write a very beautiful resume for them, then the next stage is facing the interview panel itself. They can't communicate, they can't talk about their experiences. So as you are preparing your resume, you also need to prepare for the interview itself. How do you talk about things that you've done in the past? How do you talk about the project that you've done in the past? How do you show the interview panel that you are an expert, you can actually do these things? And good thing is some organizations now, they give you case studies before you complete your interview cycle, just to show that even if you can't really communicate about the skills and experiences, it gives you an opportunity for you to showcase what you can do. Also, we have a webinar, a recording of a webinar on resumes and preparing for interviews. So you can also check BNET Learning's YouTube page. You'll see a webinar on how to prepare your interview, prepare your resume, and also prepare for interviews. Then the next and another key point is getting certifications. For you to showcase that you understand business analysis itself and you can function as a business analyst, getting your IIBA certification is very key. Number one, it's a global certification, so you can use it anywhere. And according to IIBA's salary report, certified BAs earn 12% higher than non-certified BAs. This is based on a survey that they did last year. Also, the average salary of CBAP certified BAs in Canada is over 100,000 CAD, while in the US, it's about 120 USD. That's the average salary. So you see that not only do you need to gather all these skills and experiences, you also need to get a body to certify that you can actually do this thing. Some people, on the other hand, may focus on getting the certification without getting the experience. But I think it's best to, as you're getting the skills, you're getting the experience, you're getting the training, you also need to get certified. This is a stamp on your experience so far that, yes, this person has demonstrated enough skills to be able to function in this role based on some of this probably case studies, because the exam sometimes has some case studies and things like that, just to showcase that given this scenario, you know what to do. All right. The next point is continuous growth and development. Now, this is, you spent 2, 3, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. That doesn't mean that you are an expert in this field. You need to continuously grow. You need to develop interest in other areas, other topics. There are new terms coming out every day, new topics, new technologies. You need to keep yourself abreast with some of this new information. You need to learn, you need to grow every day. You also need to get connected to other people. You need to join communities, attend conferences, use LinkedIn, connect with other BAs, especially when you are targeting a particular industry or a particular field. Get connected to people in that field, and they'll be able to help. Get mentors or a career coach. BNET has a group called the Growth Casa. It's a community of business analysts and other professionals. You can join communities like that. You'll be able to ask questions, you'll be able to connect with other people. You don't grow in isolation. You need other people for you to grow. And last but not the least, you need to have a plan. How do I want to go about this? Whether you're starting, whether you are already a BA, whether you're trying to move into a more senior role, you need to have a plan. This is how I want to do this. This is when I'll do this. Remember your gap analysis. This is where I am right now, and this is where I need to be. So have a plan, stick to that plan and follow through. You can even have an accountability partner or a mentor to help you achieve that plan that you set for yourself. And I believe with all of these things and you working based on your plan and all of these things, you'll be able to grow from where you are right now to where you want to be, to achieve the six-figure salary if that is what you desire. All right. And it's time for questions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take any questions that you may have. Thank you. I can't hear you, Ayo.
Thank you so much, Kemi.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So thank you so much for that amazing talk. I hope that has demystified a little bit about how you can be able to achieve a six-figure salary within the business analyst field. If anyone has any questions now, we will be taking them on the chat here, and then we can definitely help you out over here. Just a little bit while we were having the webinar here, I just want to let everyone know as well too that the slides will be available afterwards. So there's no need to worry about that. We will have the slides available for everyone to go through after the webinar is over. Okay. But if there's any questions that you'd like to bring up now, we can definitely help you guys with that right now. All right, and while we're waiting for the questions to roll in here, just a little bit, while we're grateful for Kemi for giving this webinar here, we also want to be grateful for the platform that we're able to be given to be able to give this webinar, which is with BNET Learning. BNET Learning is a professional education platform that exists to provide world-class training services to all people who are registered here, and our classes are led by expertly trained and certified facilitators. We also offer a wide array of classes in various other subject matters, such as not only business analysts, but also product management, project management, financial analysts. All of those are available on the BNET Learning website. I'll leave a link on the chat, but the website is www.bnetlearning.com. If you'd like to go through there and you have any more questions, there is more insight over there about the facilitators, the classes that are available there. All of that information is available to you if you are interested. I did get one question here. It says, how do we get 21 PDU in order to take the ECBA certification?
So for ECBA, you need to, I've forgotten the number of hours that you need to take. I think the only requirement is to take a training in a recognized training center like BNET, and I think it's either 21 hours or 40 hours of training. I want to believe it's 40 hours of training. And if I'm correct, that's the only requirement for the ECBA exam. It's CCBA and CBAP that requires, I think CCBA requires 3 to 5 years of experience, and CBAP requires 5 to 7 years of experience. But with ECBA, you don't need to have any experience. So for PDU, you only need to take training for, I think, 40 hours.
Sure. Perfect. Thank you so much for that. I hope that answered the question there. If there's any more follow-up questions you have towards that, you can just drop it in the chat. We can definitely help you out with that. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, and I see another question here. It says, what is the cost of your CBAP training and duration? So that's with BNET Learning. I'm sorry, I'm thinking that's with BNET Learning. Okay, yep. And as stated there, yeah, as I said in the chat there, the CBAP training costs 1,200 Canadian and is for 5 weekends. Okay. If there are any other questions, can definitely help you out with those here. All right, perfect. If there's no other questions, that's no problem at all. We thank everyone here for joining our webinar. In addition, Kemi already touched on this a little bit, but we do have other webinars that are on our YouTube channel. The link was posted on the chat as well too. But we have a variety of resources and knowledge that we've poured into this YouTube channel here that you're able to consume of if you'd like. The last one that we had before was a hands-on webinar on data analysis using Power BI, but the one we had before was on product management, the day in the life as a product manager. And one before we've had on Scrum Master. I've seen we have a Scrum Master that's watching with us here. So if that's interest to you, those are also available on our YouTube channel. So that's available for you here as well too. So the link is in the chat. But if there's no other questions here, we thank everyone for coming for 1 hour on a Saturday to talk for this webinar here. And we hope that you all have a great rest of your day. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.